Hey, SEC stuff. It is Georgia and Emma, and we are here to talk about probably one of the biggest upsets of the weekend, FSU beating our team, Alabama.
I didn't see Alabama out there. Did you?
I've never seen that team before in my life.
No, that's not my team. It is my team, but oh goodness.
Good Lord. It will talk about an embarrassing loss. And look, we talked about it a little bit. FSU was a very hard team to prepare for because there were so many question marks, but that's not an excuse because besides them not being able to really completely prepare for FSU, they still shouldn't have played that bad.
They looked, and this pains me to say, soft. I was like, I thought you guys were hitting really hard in practice. I thought you were really showcasing your talent during practice, and everybody coming out of watching you during practice said, wow, this defense is insane. What defense? You let them run all around you all day long. They look soft, and unless they fix very fundamental things, this is going to be a long season.
Yeah, Florida State physical from the jump. They finished with 230 rushing yards, averaging 4.7 yards per carry. And I just want to point out that I know it was a different team, but they averaged 89.9 yards during their last season.
It wasn't good. Listen, okay, Florida State outcoached, outprepared, out-executed Alabama every step of the way. The Tide looked absolutely disorganized, they looked sloppy, they looked undisciplined, and these were things that we were screaming about last season that needed to be fixed, and we're like, "This is the first full team under Kalen DeBoer. This is gonna be a whole new ball game this season," and just entering the first game of the year, it wasn't, and it was disheartening for the Alabama fan base. However, I don't like preseason rankings. I don't want them to rank until November because, especially now, we have zero idea of what these teams are with the transfer portal. And until I see 2 months of a resume, I don't know what you are. So it was very it was disheartening because of what the rankings were. They said Alabama's 8, FSU is unranked because of what happened last season, and these are 2 totally different teams. So in the future, I'm like, "Can we change this?" And also, I don't want people to overreact. Was it bad? Absolutely. Are we in week 1? Yes. Could Florida State go 12-0, 11-1 in the ACC, win the ACC championship, and then you got beat by the ACC champion? Absolutely. This team looks sensational. So, for the Alabama fan base, I don't want people to overreact yet. Let's see where we are in October.
Me, grab your pitchforks. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We need to have a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
We're both younger, so you know, most of our life, Nick Saban was the coach at Alabama. Now, I do remember very faintly um, Nick Saban's first year and a little before Nick Saban. I remember losing games as a kid. Um, I remember Nick Saban's first year and us losing games, and I remember us losing to LSU. And I walked out of the arena, and LSU fans are screaming at me, and I'm just a child, and I'm crying, and I remember that. I remember losing, and I remember being a bad loser then, and I'm a bad loser now. Um, it was so horrible, and I get why people are so angry because sometimes when you lose a game, you can at least look and say, okay, at least we are playing good. At least the gameplay is good. At least, we're trying.
A lot of people are gonna blame Ty Simpson. There's people on the internet saying, "Oh, you guys were blaming Milrow." Yeah, we were. Milrow was part of the problem. Simpson looked decent. He looked like, "This is my first time starting as QB1 of a new team, playing against a big brand in college football." It's not easy. Did he make bad decisions? Yes, you should have ran for the first down instead of throwing the ball. And making it an incomplete pass. You should have gotten that. But that is a decision that he will now remember. And in that next matchup, when he sees open field and then a player down the stretch to throw to, he will take the first down himself. That is a learning moment. Unfortunately, he had to learn against a really good team and not Louisiana Monroe. So these are just this is just the schedule and that's just what's going to happen. And if they choose to learn from it, I thought he played pretty okay, like pretty good for a start. Can he get better? Absolutely. He was so composed. He was so tight in that first drive. They took like 8 minutes off the clock. But where I worry is that when we were in like the third and fourth quarter, he looked scared. He looked terrified, and it was not good to see as a fan because then I'm petrified. If my quarterback's terrified, I'm like, I have no confidence. And he had no confidence in that moment, and that was very disheartening. The O-line didn't help him a lot. The defense obviously didn't help him at all, and it was just rough from start to finish, but I don't wanna blame him entirely because the wide receivers, especially Ryan Williams, who I hope gets better very soon, dropped so many passes. There were also a couple bad calls, but you can't rely on calls to go your way in a game. So obviously, Devontae Lawson said we can't dwell on it. All we can do is get better. Yes, that is all you can do. You can't just be happy you're Alabama and be like, "Oh, I got that script today." You have to execute day in and day out, and that starts number 1 with coaching, and hopefully DeBoer gets it right. So,
And me included, people get annoyed with DeBoer's demeanor on the sideline, and he's not a coach that sits there and screams at his players. He doesn't throw things on the ground, whatever. But people are telling the truth when he just looks confused. He looks like he has no idea what is going on. He looks like he's never seen a football game in his whole entire life. And maybe that's just who he is as a coach. But you got to sit there and eventually be like, "Okay, I've got to change something." I don't think he's a bad coach, and I don't think people should be sitting here calculating his buyout.
let's
But
wait till October. Let's
let's wait till October, then we can calculate his buyout, okay?
The thing is that Florida State, we didn't know what they were gonna be. They deserved the ranking in 2024. They needed that ranking. They needed to be ranked as high as they were then because this was a sensational team, and I think this team is going to make a lot of waves in the ACC this year and potentially win the ACC championship with how good they are, with how good Thomas Castellanos was. He was absolutely massive in this game. He called his shot in the offseason, made a lot of people unhappy, and he backed it up. And good for him. Like, give him his flowers. His blend of QB runs, quick throws. He was poised the whole time. He was not scared of the script today. And I loved that. I thought he was sensational. Gus Malzahn was amazing calling plays. He was truly an X factor. He had Alabama figured out from start to finish. So Florida State looks really good. I think they're going to contend for the ACC championship, for the playoffs. Like, this is a good team. But looking at Alabama on paper, that is a good team too. They just didn't look like it on the day. It looked like, oh, we're in preseason. Well, there's no such thing as preseason in college football. You have to be ready on day one, especially because you're playing Florida State. Good news for 2026 is you're not playing Florida State till the 19th of September. So you get a little growing pains early on without having to play them. You get those easier teams first. But I mean, this is a gut punch. You don't want to start 0-1. This is the first time they've done that since 2001, ending a 23-year streak. And it doesn't look like the Crimson Tide that fans are used to. And that's sad. We hope it gets better.
I think one of my biggest issues is, yes, we've talked about how they couldn't really know what FSU was gonna come out and look like, and that's hard to prepare for. But what we did know is that Gus Malzahn thrives with a fast quarterback. And who was a fast quarterback? We knew that Tommy Castellanos was a fast quarterback. So why didn't we prepare for that? Why didn't we say, okay, Gus Malzahn is fast, he's confusing. Why was that not prepared for? Because yes, you can say, oh, we don't know who FSU is gonna look like. Okay, but you know the individual people. And yeah, there's new coaches, there's like whatever, there's new players, but you can still prepare for some of those components. And the defense looked like they were asleep the whole time.
Mhm. And
They
that comes straight from coaching.
Yeah, they weren't even running after there was a play where the guy started he didn't even run after him.
I know.
He just stood just, like, galloped. Stop if you're gonna gallop, get off the
He
field.
pranced on the field.
I'm sorry I'm so angry, but I am. I'm angry. I know a lot of Alabama fans are, like, and I'm not I am hopeful for our team that it's not going to be a horrible season.
Yeah.
I can say we're losing to Georgia, we're losing to Tennessee, we might lose to South Carolina. Sh
Okay, you're being a little this is the overreaction we're trying to avoid.
we might lose to Auburn.
No, 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 no. We are going to play Louisiana Monroe at home. Get right game. I don't know why that game is at 7:45 Eastern. No business being that late. Granted, there's not a lot of great games next week like there were this week. But no, we're gonna get right and we're gonna see what this coaching staff can do with these players because these players on paper are elite. It is now up to the coaching staff to figure it out because the defense was not up to par. I think Ty Simpson needs a little bit more time to really get comfortable in the pocket and really be comfortable on the field as leading this team as QB1. He looked great in that first drive, but you can't just be great for one drive. And he knows that and he said that. And these receivers need to not drop the ball.
I mean, what is going on? Because you're not playing like yourselves. You're not playing like the players that I hype up all the time as these amazing players and these players that I admire. I admire their drive. I admire their passion. It was like they had taken melatonin.
It needs to be focused week in and week out, or it's going to be the same story as last year, but worse. Like you said, there are so many games on this slate that they can lose to Georgia, to South Carolina, to Tennessee, to LSU, who looks like the national champion after they played Clemson. They look sensational, probably will win the SEC at this point because with how good they look. Could lose to OU. OU is supposed to have a great team, lost to them last year. So this could be cataclysmic if they don't get their stuff together. Fix it now, and we'll see where you're at because 'cause you're going to Athens, you're not playing Georgia and Tuscaloosa, you're going to South Carolina, you're not playing them in Tuscaloosa. You luckily get Tennessee and LSU at home, but and OU, but, like, this is not a good start. I'm hoping for Alabama that FSU goes 12-0 or 11-1, so this looks like a good loss. Granted, there are no good losses, but hopefully this looks a little bit better for them down the stretch, but it doesn't take away that they did not look good at all.
Get me on the sideline. I'll yell at them.
There you go. We need somebody to because it doesn't seem like I mean, it I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. I mean, he is a good coach. That's why I'm like the overreaction. There can't be one right now. It's week one. FSU's a good team. Like this is again. I hate preseason rankings for this very reason because we don't know. And I mean, these coaches, Kane Womack has shown flashes of greatness. Kalen DeBoer has shown flashes of greatness. You have Ryan Grubb now, who them together have shown flashes of greatness. And it's like, it wasn't here today. Let's not overreact. Let's move on. Let's get the get right game going against Louisiana Monroe. Let's make sure we are very strong against Wisconsin. Take full advantage of that bye week. And then let's see where we are against Georgia, which is a game I'm not expecting them to win, but I need them to keep it close.
That's all we have for Alabama today.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. We're going to be breaking down next week's games. Bye.